You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Traffic has reopened on I-75 after a pedestrian was struck and killed near the Clark Road exit. We'll have a live update.
Plus, it's finally Halloween, the apps you need to download to make sure your kids are safe tonight.
And this morning, one mother is speaking out after a disturbing video was brought to her son's daycare of a fight club. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Happy Halloween, October 31st. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jess Dowdrick. It's the one day that we coordinate color-wise.
It is, and we can't exactly dress up like cats or anything, so instead we wear orange instead.
Yeah, we'll do that a little later once we're off the air.
Oh, that's a tease.
Let's send it right over to meteorologist John Scalzi for a look at your Halloween forecast.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good for us today, I think. We're starting off just a little bit cooler than we were 24 hours ago. We've got 63 degrees in Sarasota, 64 Lakewood Ranch. Yesterday we were 2 degrees warmer than that. In some places we were even 4 degrees warmer than that. So we will probably lose a few more degrees before we start to warm. Certainly nothing on radar right now, and it'll be a dry day today. As we head through the afternoon, look for a daytime high temperature to top out a little bit warmer, actually, coming in at about 85 or 86 degrees for a daytime high. No rain in the forecast for today. Trick-or-treat time looks great. We'll detail that for you in a few. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. 5:01 right now, checking first alert traffic. Some build up there on 301 southbound as you cross over State Road 70, otherwise all clear in Manatee County. Farther south, here's the scene on the northern half of Sarasota County. Nothing in the red right now. We'll talk more about Clark Road in a moment, though. And then checking farther south, here's the scene, South County, down by Venice and our friends in Englewood. Right now, not a lot to report. Little buildup there on 776 as you head northbound toward Englewood. But we now start with some breaking news at 5:01. Traffic has reopened on I-75 after a late-night pedestrian crash on the interstate shut down southbound lanes for a time. This is the scene from last night. Our camera crew was there about 11:30 p.m. FHP reopened the lanes within the hour. Now here is a live shot of the scene. That's about as close as our photographer says he can get right now. That's obviously at I-75, the Siesta Key, Arcadia direction there. FHP says a pedestrian ran into traffic about 11 o'clock last night and was pronounced dead at the scene. No word yet as to who it was or why he or she ran in the road on the interstate. This, of course, is a developing story. We'll keep you up to date on air and on the web at mysuncoast.com. In northern New York State, a helicopter crash killed 2 utility workers. Look at this video near Plattsburgh, near the Canadian border. Officials say the chopper got tangled in the wires while inspecting power lines, and that's the result right there. 2 killed, 2 others on board injured. They were released from the hospital. 3,000 local customers of Vermont Electric lost power for several hours.
A mother in St. Louis could not hold back tears when she saw a video of what you might call a fight club at her children's daycare. It was organized by the teachers. We warn you that some of this video could be disturbing for parents. Chris Hayes reports.
Oh my God! A 10-year-old took this fight club video with his iPad. He's with older kids in the next room. That's his little brother crying after 3 fights. One teacher's excited, jumping up and down, while the other teacher puts Hulk fists on preschoolers. Mother Nicole Merciel cannot watch without crying.
He doesn't understand why his friends were fighting him, why he got beat up by his best friends, and it was on his 4th birthday.
The fight begins. The kids fall. A teacher kicks in the air in excitement. The only person who tries breaking it up is another preschooler, but he cannot stop one child from pounding the other's head into the floor.
They're fighting.
Merciel believes it only stopped because her older son texted her video. She called the director to stop it.
He said that the daycare workers were making them fight, not helping them.
Daycare cameras recorded at least 30 minutes, fight after fight. Video, Merciel says, can be monitored by staff. Though it happened nearly 2 years ago, Merciel does not think enough was done.
I want them to be held accountable, and I don't want this to happen to any other child.
The police report says the director immediately fired both teachers and called the child abuse hotline. The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office declined to prosecute. I reached out to both teachers. They had no comment. Though state regulators substantiated the complaint, Adventure Learning Center continued operating normally. But with increased inspections, 8 visits since document 26 wide-ranging violations, though none exactly like the Fight Club incident. March 2018, a 4-year-old child said a teacher cussed at him, flicked him, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. Also this year, a, quote, agency staff member observed a caregiver grab a child approximately 3 years old by the arm and carry the child. The report adds that the director was standing in his classroom and did not respond. Mercille wonders about training, pointing to how a teacher noticed her son crying that December day in 2016.
In the video, he's wiping his face over and over again. The daycare worker, you see her walk over to him and tell him, you know, you're fine, and like pat him on the back, and then walk and start another fight with other kids.
She says she now struggles making her son realize fighting at daycare is not really widely accepted.
When we chose a new daycare for him and he started going, he asked me in the car if they were going to make him fight.
The circuit attorney's office said it did not prosecute the teachers because there was not enough evidence that any laws were broken. We've made it to the day so many have been anticipating all month long, Halloween, a holiday where safety will be a top priority this year.
So what can parents do to increase safety? Marla Spence has some tips. She's live in the newsroom. Marla?
Hey, Ray and Jess, the first thing parents want for their kids this Halloween is safety, especially when they're crossing busy roads and knocking on the doors of strangers. Now, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office suggests that parents tag along with their kids for trick-or-treating this Halloween. Experts say for whatever reason you can't tag along and you want your child to feel a sense of independence but also want them to be safe, having a few tracking apps on your phone can help you be well aware of where your kids are at all times. Now, those apps include Life 360 and FBI Child ID. Life 360 provides a private map that will allow you to track your kids while they're on the go, while FBI Child ID saves pictures and information of your children just in case they decide to wander off this Halloween. Now, we spoke to Randy Warren, the spokesperson for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. He tells us parents can also make sure their kids are safe this Halloween by following these simple steps.
Parents need to try to get the small kids out before it gets dark, and then make sure that the kids have costumes that are visible. You can get ones that glow in the dark or have little lights, give them a flashlight. Again, stay with your kids so they're not out there by themselves. Walk on the sidewalks if you can, stay off of busy streets, going to neighborhoods that you're familiar with.
And Warren also suggests that when your kids come back home with all those goodies, that parents should inspect the candy. Anything that's not in its original package or seems to be homemade should be thrown away, and things that are in its original package, parents should make sure that they're not tampered with and to also make sure that they are not expired. Jess and Ray.
All right, thank you, Marla. Work begins next spring on the bridge at the north end of Longboat Key. FDOT says the bridge that connects the key to Anna Maria Island near Coquina Beach is 61 years old now. They plan to begin a $3.7 million repair job on that lift bridge. It'll include concrete erosion protection, repairs to the sidewalks and the deck.
All parts of the bridge is attacked by the salt environment that it's in, and therefore it gets some rust and corrosion, deterioration over time that needs to be addressed.
I noticed little things like chunks of concrete missing from the rails and stuff, things like that. But I mean, I don't notice anything structural.
So the bridge project begins on May 1st and should be finished about 6 months later.
2 road closures are planned for Thursday in Venice. The first is at the East Gate Phase 1 project, which includes putting in new water mains and will require both lanes of Live Oak Street from the East Venice Avenue to the north side of Cypress Avenue. That'll be closed from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., both lanes of Live Oak Street from the south side of Cypress Avenue to the north side of Laurel Avenue will be closed. The roads are expected to be back open Thursday evening.
Happening tonight, Thriller is returning to St. Armand's Circle for Fright Night. Sarasota High School's drama department will perform Michael Jackson's Thriller dance. There'll be haunted storefronts as well and trick-or-treating around St. Armand's Circle for kids. The spooks start at 6 and end at 8:30. That Thriller thing is a good thing to check out. It's a local tradition now.
Okay.
You can also bring your little ones to trick-or-treat on Siesta Key. Merchants in Siesta Village as well as on South Siesta Key are taking part there. Just look for those displaying festive balloons out front. Festivities on Siesta Key start at 3 p.m. and end at 6 p.m., so 2 good options for you there. But still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a new report might surprise you as to how much parents spend on Halloween each year.
And coming up a little later in the hour, as many hit the polls for early voting, who's offering free rides to the polls on Election Day, which is now less than a week away.
All right, 5:10 right now on this Halloween morning. There's spooky shot out there. Pretty dark so far. John Scalzi, of course, in the Halloween spirit right now.
Absolutely, and I think for the trick-or-treaters tonight, it's going to be just fine. I don't see any problems whatsoever. Might be a little on the warm side, but it's been a lot warmer, that's for sure, on previous Halloweens. We'll call it warm but dry because there's no rain in the forecast. Late half moon. By that I mean we'll have a half moon tonight, but it doesn't really rise until after midnight. So sunset starts at 6:48. Expect a pretty dark evening. 80 degrees to as low as 75 degrees between those hours of sunset and about 9 o'clock. Your complete forecast coming up in just a few.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gattle's got it.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th. ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Temperature coming in at 63 degrees right now with a dew point value of 60. Slightly lower dew point is allowed for some very pleasant conditions outside, I'd say. We have east wind coming in lightly at about 6. Now, because of that lower dew point, we don't have quite the fog problem that we had yesterday. So good news there for your morning commute. As we progress through the morning, plenty of sunshine around, helping to boost our temperature into the 80s pretty quickly. By 12 noon, we'll be at 82. Top it out at about 85 or 86 for a daytime high, similar to yesterday, maybe a degree or two warmer. And then as we head into the evening hours, temperatures will fall off into the 80s. We'll start to see humidity begin to return later this afternoon as winds start to shift a little bit more to the southeast, but it's really tomorrow when the humidity spikes because of an approaching frontal boundary already setting up a line of storms that extends from Chicago down into Texas. That line of storms will help to twist our winds around to the southwest and just spike our humidity as we head into tomorrow. Right now, quiet though on radar. Not expecting to see any showers for your morning commute. That high pressure ridge is what's going to move out into the Atlantic as this frontal boundary approaches. As it does that, winds twist. They become a little bit more easterly today, but certainly southeasterly later in the afternoon. And eventually tomorrow, southwesterly as this line of showers sets up and starts to move a little bit closer to us, promising us a chance of Friday rain showers. Mostly sunny skies for us today. We'll call it moderate humidity. It's certainly been a lot stickier around here at times in October. And then we'll call it Friday rains. I think a pretty good chance of that. So the forecast, the futurecast, looks pretty good for today. Then tomorrow, as we start to shift those winds and humidity returns, we'll start to pick up a scattered shower or two. Then on Friday, we'll watch for the actual line of showers associated with the cold front to approach. We'll have to watch that one pretty carefully, though the threat of severe weather is pretty low for us. It is marginal in parts of north central Florida, and we'll look for any kind of shift in that scenario down to the south a little bit, which might include us. But currently, it's just from Tampa Bay northward, and that's the slightest risk factor for any kind of severe weather. Mostly it would be strong gusty winds and maybe an isolated tornado, and that would be mostly in north central Florida. This is a very similar situation to what we saw actually last Friday with some pretty good thunderstorms moving through parts of North Florida. East wind comes in at about 10 knots, becoming southeasterly at about 10 to 15 a little bit later in the day. 2-foot seas, light chop on your bay and inland waters. So here's your forecast. Looks like this. 86 degrees for a daytime high today. Temperatures dropping off as we head into sunset and a few hours thereafter to between 80 and 75 under rain-free skies. Then the next couple of days, we have chances of rain showers as the front moves through. It sinks south, gives us a pretty nice day on Saturday, but the front stuck to the south returns north as a warm front on Sunday. And don't forget, clocks go back 1 hour at 2 a.m. And then as we head into the next several days, we look for some pretty pleasant weather next work week. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Taking a look at First Alert traffic now. We begin in Manatee County. You're seeing some slight delays on US 301 southbound just after you cross over State Road 70. Other than that, things are running smoothly in Manatee County as we head a little further south into Sarasota County. Nothing major to report. Some slight slowdowns on University Parkway if you're heading westbound just after you cross over I-75, so near the diverging diamond there. Some slight slowdown on Bee Ridge Road, also if you're heading westbound right after I-75 as well. Other than that, nothing major. And in southern Sarasota County, it's all clear right now on your Halloween morning. A haunted holiday with a shocking price tag. According to the National Retail Federation, Halloween spending is expected to reach $9 billion this year. That's about the same as last year's previous record. In today's Consumer Watch, Kim Hutcherson breaks down those expenses.
Candy, costumes, decorations, it all adds up. And this Halloween, collectively, we're expected to spend $9 billion. That's according to the National Retail Federation's annual survey. The report found the average spending per person is $86.79. That's slightly higher than last year's spending survey. So where's all that cash going? According to the NFR survey, $2.7 billion will go towards decorations, $2.6 billion will go towards candy, $400 million on greeting cards, and the bulk of it, a little more than $3 billion, will be spent on costumes. And speaking of dressing up, the survey found the top-ranked costumes for children were princess and superhero. For adults, the popular costumes were witch, vampire, and zombie. The survey also found pet costumes are gaining popularity. Nearly 20% of people said they plan to dress up their pets this year. That number is up from last year's 16%. The NRF credits the economy and high consumer confidence for the positive survey. For Consumer Watch, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
So we've got a station costume party today, and you're going to dress up as?
Ray's putting me on the spot. I already told him I can't tell him. It's a contest. I'm going to win. I have teammates for this, and
right.
I can't tell you what it is. You'll have to find out.
A picture tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, on Facebook later today. Check it out. Right. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Uber has introduced a monthly subscription service. What customers can expect.
And next half hour, we'd like to think it's gone, but red tide is still listed as intense on one Suncoast beach. We'll tell you where.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Civics on sale is now. During our model year-end sale, try new Civics for just $169 a month. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. And now get Civic, a KBB.com's best buy of the year for less than the competition. New Civics just $169 a month. Your last chance for Civics, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
My grandpa was always telling me about it.
But the civil rights thing happened like a million years ago.
Still, he thought it was important that I know what it was like.
So we followed the civil rights trail to Alabama. We saw Dr. King's church,
the bridge in Selma, the church in Birmingham, and I finally knew what he was talking about.
Some things you just have to experience for yourself.
Start your civil rights journey at alabama.travel.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Apple's new gadgets are ready to hit the market, among them the next generation of the iPad.
The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple unveils its new devices, including an iPad that's a lot like the new iPhone.
The iPad Pro uses facial recognition technology to unlock the device. Apple also has a new MacBook Air laptop with a high-res screen. The new products go on sale next Wednesday. Uber is now offering a monthly subscription service called Ride Pass.
It allows riders to guarantee set prices for a monthly fee. That fee is $25 in Los Angeles and $15 in Denver, Austin, Miami, and Orlando. There's no limit to the number of rides users can take. Lyft is also offering a similar plan. And Pizza Hut is moving ahead with its automatic mobile pizza factory.
That's right. It plans to show off the specially outfitted Toyota Tundra pickup at a trade show next week. It includes a refrigerator and oven, runs on hydrogen fuel cells, and cooks the pizza as the pizza is being delivered.
And now we're hungry.
And those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Blue Buffalo. Cute cat. What do you feed her?
Punky gets Blue Buffalo. Oh, I give Princess Fancy Feast.
Ever looked at the ingredients?
I know them well. I have.
Would you read a few of them?
Uh-huh. Beef, beef broth, meat broth, chicken liver, chicken, fish, turkey, meat byproducts.
While both foods provide complete and balanced nutrition, 9 out of 10 Fancy Feast feeders prefer the ingredients in Blue Buffalo. Blue Buffalo. Love them like family, feed them like family.
Promote what makes your business great with Vistaprint. Whether it's a business card, a banner, or a postcard, we have the paper stocks, sizes, and design options to create marketing that's right for your business. Give it a try with 500 standard business cards starting at just $9.99 when you use code VP500 at Vistaprint.com.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Residents in Pittsburgh continue to mourn the loss of 11 people killed at a synagogue over the weekend, and overnight 3 of the victims were laid to rest.
Plus, what Moat Marine is saying about the latest red tide update here on the Suncoast.
And it's finally Halloween, the events you can enjoy with your family tonight. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jess Dowdrick. Orange is the color of the day today, obviously.
This is our costume. It'll have to be for now. Oh, that was a good one, too. I saw that. Let's go to John Scalzi, who is dressed up now as a meteorologist.
Indeed, I am. We're looking at some pretty pleasant conditions to start off your morning. And in fact, I think the whole day is going to be pretty nice. So for the kids, the all-important trick-or-treat time frame this evening looks like it's going to be A-OK for weather. We've had some very muggy and hot trick-or-treat times in the past, and this is not going to be one of them today. 63 degrees, the current air temperature in Sarasota, 62 in Bradenton. That's a little bit cooler than it was 24 hours ago by several degrees. No rain in today's forecast, and as we head into the afternoon, we'll have a daytime high that tops out about 86, 87 degrees. We'll look for 85 by 3 p.m. under sunny skies. Your forecast in a minute.
All right, thank you, John. Let's check the traffic right now. First off to the maps. Not much to report so far in Manatee County. Let's go farther south now and check out the northern half of Sarasota County. Shouldn't be a problem right now there either. And then South County roads, all clear. A little blip there down at 776, but shouldn't slow you down too much. We've got a live shot now of I-75. This is the southbound lanes near Clark Road. Earlier in the morning, there was an incident. In fact, actually late last night, a pedestrian, they say, was struck and killed on the interstate around 11 o'clock last night, and the interstate was shut down for several hours while you slept. Right now, it is free and clear. No word yet as to what happened or why a person would run across the interstate. Not a good thing. We'll have details of that story as they get to us from FHP right here on ABC 7. The city of Steel is bent but not broken. Funerals are underway in Pittsburgh as President Trump visited to comfort a sad city. Reporter John Lawrence has our story.
Pittsburgh, still in shock after Saturday's fatal shooting rampage. On Tuesday, 3 of the victims were laid to rest. Dr. Jerry Rabinovitz was remembered fondly.
There aren't words that can describe what's happened. Jerry was a very, very special man.
As were brothers Cecil and David Rosenthal.
He was the honorary mayor of Squirrel Hill because everybody knew who Cecil was. I've seen David downtown at the Federal Building, being from, working in for the Goodwill's in janitorial service.
About 100 players, coaches, and staffers with the Pittsburgh Steelers attended the funeral for the Rosenthal brothers. Their sister, Michelle, was a former employee with the team. Pittsburgh's hockey team, the Penguins, also lent support with a moment of silence before Tuesday's game and by adding the phrase, "stronger than hate," to its logo. That's a message the city is embracing.
I turn to all of our elected leaders because hate doesn't know a political party. Speak words of decency and of respect. When that message comes loud and clear, Americans will hear that, and we can begin to change the tenor of our country.
More services for victims are expected over the next few days. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Suncoast churches, synagogues, mosques, and other places of worship are all planning for the unthinkable following that shooting in Pittsburgh. Sarasota police have heightened security at all places of worship in the city Every time there are services in our community, Sarasota police are patrolling those areas, and at special events, there are extra officers on duty monitoring.
Luckily, we have not had any overt issues here in the city of Sarasota. We've had a couple calls where people were suspicious of things, but that's what we're here for, 24/7. If someone in the city feels like something's amiss, give us a ring, let us come check it out, and we'll make the decision whether or not we'd have to take action. But it's always better to play it safe than to wait and have something happen.
Chief Robinson says that local departments, including them, the sheriff's office, along with national law enforcement as well, they're all working around the clock to make sure everyone is safe when they go to their places of worship.
A developing story out of Venice where 4 bicyclists remain in critical condition. A car hit the group of bikers yesterday morning on Center Road near Rockley Boulevard at the back entrance to the Plantation Country Club. FHP says the bikers were driving, or rather heading eastbound, when they began to veer into the path of a car from behind. 3 of the riders were airlifted to Sarasota Memorial Hospital. The 4th bicyclist was driven there. Now in Florida, riders have to stay in bike lanes unless there is something in the road or there is no sidewalk where they make a turn. So at this point, the 91-year-old driver is not being faulted, but an FHP spokesman says an investigation is still very much underway.
It's like sobriety, distractions that we're going to look at because, we have 4 people that are seriously injured, and we take that serious. There's someone's children, someone's husband, so we want to make sure that we're doing our, diligent investigation out here so that we can come to those conclusions.
Now the 4 bicyclists are from Venice and Englewood, 3 men, 1 woman. They range in age from 55 to 67.
And troopers are also investigating a separate fatal crash in Venice. Troopers say 30-year-old Robert Steeland was heading north on Venice East Boulevard around 3:15 yesterday morning. We brought you that story here live on Good Morning Suncoast. When this man was near Woodrose Way, troopers say he drove onto the median and hit 2 wooden posts. He then hit some trees, crossed over to the other side of the road, and crashed into a large oak tree. We spoke to a man who heard the entire incident from his bedroom window.
The street has its occasional speeders, but this time of night at 3 in the morning, there's virtually no traffic and there's no drag racing. It's a very quiet community and everybody pretty much keeps to themselves, and nothing like this that I've seen. So.
Sealand died at the scene. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt.
5:36 right now. Happening tonight, President Trump will be in Fort Myers to help gubernatorial candidate Ron DeSantis. Some attendees have already arrived at Hertz Arena. The president's remarks begin at 7 p.m. Now, Ron DeSantis will also be in Sarasota this morning at 8 a.m. at Dolphin Aviation.
More than 3 million people have already voted across the state of Florida. Republicans slightly outnumber Democrats who have voted early. There are more than 13 million registered voters in Florida. 2 big races drawing people to the polls: the race for governor, featuring Republican Ron DeSantis and Democrat Andrew Gillum, and the U.S. Senate race, where incumbent Senator Bill Nelson is facing Governor Rick Scott. Manatee County Area Transit will offer free bus service on Election Day, which is next Tuesday. The offer includes the MCAT Route 99 buses that travel into Sarasota County. Handy Bus clients can ride for free if they're traveling to or from a designated polling location. Also, Uber or Lyft are offering free and discounted rides to polling places as well.
Red tide remains on the Suncoast. Experts blame the wind and the tide itself. We had a small break thanks to easterly winds, but beachgoers are once again finding dead fish in dark water. Moat Marine says the effects of red tide depend on the bloom concentrations, the currents, and the wind direction. One scientist told us it's like trying to project the path of a hurricane.
We've had a fraction of that effort and funding to do that kind of research. So of course, making those long-term forecasts are going to be very difficult.
For regular updates on red tide and beach conditions, go to our website, mysuncoast.com.
Over the next 10 years, Ed Smith Stadium will need $16.5 million in repairs to keep it a Major League Baseball standards. This estimate is according to an engineer hired by the Sarasota County Commission. To pay for this, the board decided to move funds from the county's tourism tax in 2020. Instead of the 30% usually given to Visit Sarasota for marketing and promotions, the board will likely need that to reduce that amount between 25 to 30% for these repairs. Visit Sarasota says this could mean up to $900,000 less in the 2020 budget.
The timing is not ideal, but the county commission made a decision. And so our job and our focus right now is we've built a red tide recovery program. It's delivering the best program we can to help our industry recover as quickly as possible.
The county says this distribution of funds isn't written in stone and will depend on the amount of tourist development tax it receives in 2020. Happening tonight, there are plenty of events for the entire family happening across the Suncoast. In Bradenton, the community trick-or-treat stroll is perfect for families with small children. It starts at 6 in the afternoon at the Village of the Arts. And in Venice, you can go to Centennial Park to watch the Venice Children's Halloween Parade. That starts at 4:30, followed by trick-or-treating at nearby stores. And if you're in Englewood, you can stroll down Dearborn Street for the 23rd annual Halloween Safe Walk. That starts at 5 and will feature live music, a pumpkin patch photo prop, and take your furry friend because there's a pet costume contest too.
That's where you'll be going probably, with your cats. It is Halloween. We've got some tips for parents coming up right here on Good Morning Suncoast. It is 5:40, October 31st, Wednesday morning. Here's a shot outside our studios of the downtown skyline. More on the red tide status now from John Scalzi.
Yeah, here's the latest from Moat Marine as of yesterday afternoon. We have several locations where we have just very small amounts of irritant in the air. That's Siesta Key, Holmes, and also in Minnesota. Coquina now recording some moderate amounts of red tide irritant. The rest have none in the air whatsoever. Of course, these will be updated about 10 o'clock this morning, and we'll have them for you again at noontime. We'll watch the winds turn a little bit more westerly as we head into the next 24 hours. Your scary Halloween forecast includes temperatures that'll be fairly warm, but still not as warm as they have been in some years. 80 to 75 degrees during Halloween trick-or-treat time, with sunset occurring at 6:48. Forecast in a minute.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great futures start here.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
It's rainy season on the Suncoast. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When there's the potential for severe weather, you need to know fast. Trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather to get you the information you need right away. We focus on the storms that impact where you live, and we're committed to alerting you with important information as soon as we get it. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
63-degree air temperature outside right now with the dew point value slightly lower, excuse me, making it feel very comfortable outside with a 60-degree dew point. We have an east wind coming in at about 6. That easterly wind flow will be with us throughout the day today. In fact, it'll get a little bit stronger as we head into the evening hour. I think that'll be kind of nice, give it a little bit of a breeze this evening. Even though the temperatures are warm, the humidity will be moderate, and so it'll feel relatively comfortable, I think, this evening. 65 degrees by about 9 a.m., 82 degrees by 12 noon. Sunny skies, and then sunny skies continue throughout the afternoon. With 85, the temperature by 3 p.m., I think we'll probably top it out around 86, 85, somewhere in there. And no rainfall as we head into the evening hours and trick-or-treat time begins. Probably about 80 degrees by the time the sun begins to set. We have a frontal boundary located back to the west. That is going to be instrumental in our weekend forecast. In fact, it'll probably show its influence on our weather for maybe 3 or 4 days. I'll tell you why in a second. Right now, high pressure is the dominant weather feature for us, providing us with very quiet conditions across the Suncoast. In fact, the entire peninsula is quiet. We'll watch that high pressure ridge be scooted out into the Atlantic over the next 24 hours as that frontal boundary approaches. As it approaches, it'll tap into some Gulf moisture, and the high-pressure ridge moving toward the east will twist our winds around to the southeast, bringing up more moisture into the state of Florida. A good line of strong showers will develop along that frontal boundary, perhaps bringing some severe weather to the northern Gulf Coast. For us, for today, and for a lot of tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, moderate humidity for today anyway, and then we'll watch for the rains to return on Friday. Now, as that front return clicks a little bit closer to us tomorrow, we'll watch the wind shift more to the southwest, and that will really spike the humidity. So I say moderate humidity, but that really applies for today. I think tomorrow it'll be anything but moderate. It'll be darn right sticky, I think. Futurecast shows quiet conditions today. Tomorrow, with that little switch in the humidity, we'll start to watch a few showers begin to lift northward across the region. Won't be that bad, though, here and there, a spotty shower or two. And then, as we head into Friday, that frontal boundary itself will approach with a moderate risk of severe weather in parts of North Florida. Not so much for us, but for North Florida. We'll also see a good chance of showers and thunderstorms, and winds will start to pick up east right now at about 10 to 15 this afternoon and evening. So we'll go with 86 as the daytime high temperature today, probably around 80 to 75 degrees during trick-or-treat hours, and it'll be fairly dark as the moon won't rise till after midnight, so watch out for that. Otherwise, a 20% chance of showers tomorrow, but bump that up to 50% on Friday, and then as we head into the week ahead, looks pretty good. Saturday nice. Sunday, we'll work back in a chance of rain as that front returns, and clocks go back Sunday morning. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Taking a quick look at First Alert traffic in Manatee County. Nothing major to report. Some slight slowdown on State Road 70 as you approach US 301. Nothing else major to talk about this morning at 548 as we head south into Sarasota County. You can see some delays there on Bee Ridge Road at I-75 if you're heading westbound. Another slight delay on Clark Road if you're heading westbound. Other than that, nothing major. And there's nothing to report in southern Sarasota County at 548 on your Halloween morning. We've made it to the day so many have been anticipating all month long, Halloween, a holiday where safety will be a top priority this year.
So what can parents do to keep kids safe? Marla Spence has some ideas. She joins us now live from the newsroom. Marla?
Justin Ray, the first thing parents want for their kids this holiday is to make sure they're safe, especially when they're crossing the street and also knocking on the doors of strangers. Now, one thing that parents should be well aware of and making sure that their kids are not doing is knocking on the doors of sexual predators and offenders this Halloween. Now, in Manatee County alone, there are more than 500 sexual predators and 60 sexual offenders within the county. Randy Warren, the spokesperson for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, says parents should know where these offenders live. He says parents can find out with a click of a button on the county's sheriff's app. Both Manatee and Sarasota counties offered free apps for the sheriff's office. Now, Warren says although the app is easy and accessible to use to get that information, there are other ways of finding out if offenders live near you or the neighborhood that you expect to take your kids trick-or-treating.
It's very important that people realize, unfortunately, there are sexual offenders, some sexual predators that are living in Sarasota, Manatee area, and they are supposedly registered. They should be. You, as a parent, need to know where they're living. Know who lives next door. Know who lives down the street. Know who lives 1 block away. And you can find that out very easily by going to our website, which is a link to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and find out where the sexual offenders are living.
And coming up at 6:30, we're telling you what the Manatee County Sheriff deputies are doing today to make sure that sexual offenders and predators are not coming in contact with your kids this Halloween. Jess and Ray.
All right, thank you, Marla. Take a look at this. Some people aren't happy about trick-or-treating on a weeknight. The Halloween and Costume Association launched a national petition asking President Trump to move Halloween to the last Saturday of October. So far, more than 33,000 people have already signed this petition. The organization said changing it to a Saturday would make for a safe, longer, stress-free celebration that benefits both parents and kids. Can't we still have Halloween on the 31st, but just move trick-or-treating? Do we have to move the whole holiday?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
I think it makes sense.
I mean, I get the trick-or-treating part, but
Yeah.
like, Halloween's October 31st.
I guess so. Doesn't really matter. 5:51, the day's top news headlines are straight away. Stay with us.
Enjoy fine wine and great foods, all while supporting a great cause. It's the 17th annual Suncoast Food and Wine Fest, happening Saturday, November 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample great food from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds go to local charities and Rotary projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
Where to go and what to do in Birmingham, Alabama. Personalized just for you. Find your sweet spots at alabama.travel/sweetspot.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information and be involved. Don't ignore the signs, join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
A pedestrian ran into the interstate last night and was killed near Clark Road. The incident shut down southbound lanes for several hours overnight.
Plus, troopers have identified the man killed in a crash in Venice. That happened yesterday morning. 30-year-old Robert Seelan was heading north on Venice East Boulevard near Woodrose Way when troopers say he drove off the road and crashed into a large oak tree.
And 4 bicyclists remain in critical condition this morning after FHP says they left the bike lane and rode in front of a car on Center Road near Rockley Boulevard in Venice. The bikers are in their 50s and 60s and are from the Venice and Englewood area. Certainly very tragic news. 3 of the 4 were airlifted to the hospital. The 4th one was driven there, but all 4 in their 50s and 60s and, again, in critical condition.
We've had a lot of really unfortunate fatal traffic accidents in the last 24 hours.
We really have, you're right. 5:55 right now. Another hour of Good Morning Suncoast is straight ahead. We'll see you in about 3 minutes.